Yep, we just arrived at the boatyard and we didn't time it very good, but it's high tide. We can't really work on the boat. As you can see, it's pretty underwater, or at least the water's to the bottom of the boat. So if you guys, I get a lot of comments of wondering why we don't have a crane and some electricity down there on the beach and modern tools and this and that, this and that. Well, I think you can start to understand the reason. We're not in Miami, Florida or Monaco working in a perfect situation boatyard. This is Philippines, and you work with what you got, and they get skills with what they got. So yeah, to me, building a boat by hand is just that much more meaningful as well. So we're gonna know every little stick and crack and corner in this boat. Anything ever goes wrong, I'll know what's wrong. So it's nice. But you can see the logistics of all this. It's hard to find things. It's hard to get what we need, but we get it done.
And
you guys are weird.
So walking over here, they have one panel put up and it's epoxied over, and they sanded it down so it's more flush with the body, so it looks really well. If you didn't see the last video, you should definitely check that out, because I was watching them put it on and I was just baffled. I had no idea how they would make the piece of plywood, and to shape it towards the boat like this. It was really unbelievable. So the next order of business is we got these extra ribs on. So now we have to do that to this side, but since it's low or high tide right now, we have to wait till low tide, because can't really work in these conditions, because with the epoxy and all. So that is the next order of business. So let's get to it.
So let's talk about why we're using the Wa'an. If you missed the last episode, we were searching all over the city for this, because we talked to a handful of other boat builders and stuff like that around the country, including ours, and they actually requested that we get this. This is Gemelina, or this mahogany, because it's way cheaper. And I said, but we want the best. They're like, well, there is the best, but you can't, it's expensive. Most of their clients don't want it for their boat because it's too expensive, but it is way better. So I said, what is that? And it was Luan. So this is a really hard wood. It's not very flexible when it's really dried, kiln dried and treated, but it is a super hard wood. I would compare it to like oak back home. It's really heavy. I mean, it's double or triple the weight of like coca lumber or something. What is this?
Kasai.
Kasai.
Yeah.
So this is
hardwood.
Hardwood as well.
Yeah.
So we got that. I just want to compare it to something like coca lumber, which I don't think anybody would use coca lumber on a boat unless it's maybe some furniture. They wanted to save a lot of money. But check this out. If you put the grains next to each other, can you see how big and wide open those grains are? I mean, these grains are really loose and weird. And this one's compact like a rock. I mean, it is, they were using this to hammer nails and stuff. And this is weightless. This is weightless. So we're trying to get the best woods. What is this called?
Kasai.
Kasai tree.
Yeah.
So this is a pretty light one as well. Mahogany, that's really heavy. Well, it's big, but mahogany is really beautiful. It's a hardwood. It's got tight grains as well. I mean, it's an awesome cutting board or whatever. Actually, our whole boat is made out of mahogany. So they didn't cheap out, even though this is a lot cheaper than this. But the whole boat is, all the ribs and everything is mahogany. But we're strengthening it with those extra ribs and planks with Luahan. This is Gemelina, which is a close second. It's a little bit more flexible, especially if it's not kiln dried. So we used it on the big planks on the front where it's bent. All you guys got to do is watch that episode. but this is a real good one as well. This, I would compare this to cedar back home, and this would be like oak. So yeah, we're doing the most high quality build possible, but it's cool. We got a mahogany and Luan boat. So they're painting the panels, the marine plywood, with the epoxy primer, and they're doing the front and back because it's going to be really hard to paint the inside once these are on the boat. Of course, I still got to get inside once these are on and paint the actual ribs and stuff, but at least the parts that are touching, you know, attached or nailed or whatever to the ribs, they'll be painted. So I don't really like raw wood on wood, so it rots or bugs get in there or anything, so they're painting it right here. Hey!
Hey, thank you, Elvis.
So I told you in the last episode or two, we're using all these copper and bronze nails, and I want to show you why. I saw a boat or a board with a copper nail. The nail was old and bad looking, but the wood is still a really straight, nice hole with no rot or bugs or anything around it. So check this out from the boat. They had a spot where they used a steel nail, and if you look in there, you can see it turned black around there. I know when you use iron nails, you can get iron sickness. I've seen a completely white 2x4 with a black spot, and it's just spreading around the nail hole. So you can see it's just rotting around those nails, and that's just where it starts. And if the wood's rotting all around that nail, there's nothing to hold on to. Here's a stainless one.
See, right there is the corrosion on the stainless, right where it goes in the wood.
You can see corrosion and everything on there. I don't know if you can see that on the video, but even these stainless ones, just
stainless doesn't hold up in salt water. In water
Yeah.
and regular moisture, yeah, fine, but salt water, no.
So apparently they're no good in salt water. Maybe in a house with humidity or something, but you can save the money, not buy these. But I guess the boats, that's what I was saying earlier. It's really cool taking stuff apart and seeing what worked and what didn't work. So I want to walk down the shore while we can't get on the boat right now, because this is all boat yards or houses building boats or whatever. So kind of want to go check out all these other boats, how they did it. Check it out. This is a nice hardwood mahogany, but look what happened. There was an inferior nail, and it got a bunch of rot around that nail and broke off. So that's a really good example why we're using some corrosive proof resistant seawater stuff for our nails. Yeah, this old boat on the side of the road just down from ours, we thought they were cutting it up to make firewood out of it, but he's rebuilding it. I think he's just using it as a form or whatever to build a new one. So check this out. This is how they join boards, because there's no board that's that long. I saw it in an actual video, and we're gonna do it as well for our outriggers, because there's no planks that long. They cut it at an angle, sand them off, and then put them together like this with the hard epoxy or whatever glue. That's pretty cool how they're made. Really hard epoxy glue or whatever. So we're doing that on our outriggers because they're really, really, really wide. We're not doing bamboo anymore, but I'll show you that later. That's a whole, who knows how long down the road that is. But he's been making this. We thought it was junk, and it's pretty cool. Local craftsman.
Thank you.
Republic.
Pwede yung i-shut off carry out ko. Yeah,
Let's see if it fits.
yeah.
You're a craftsman, huh? Oh, saksik kayo!
Yeah, ito na.
Sana all.
Thank you.
It looks good. I see it every day working on the boat.
Okay, everybody, you've been asking why don't we have better working conditions or cranes or anything here. Well, this is the road we come down to get to the boatyard. It's a dirt road. It's probably about 2 miles long that way, and then once you get to the boatyard, it's right here. And this is the only entrance to it here to get to where the boats are. These people live right along the roads, and then they have access to the sea behind them, so that's just the way it is. You know, obviously there's no way to bring in a crane in here, because even if you got back in here, then you have the trees, you got their buildings, you got where they cook their food, everything else back here. So it's not really what you would think in the States or any place else, where it just would be simple, where somebody's got a place of business, so they've got a boatyard and they've got a highway coming to it, and there's trucks out there and everything else. It just isn't that way. This is the Philippines, and this is what you work with. I mean, so you know, I understand it would be nice to have everything, but you know, we're being real here. And in reality, if the world went to hell, this is how everybody would build their boats.
I think the most relevant comment on the last video was that we didn't provide safety glasses for all the boat builders, but I mean, we did. They're grown-ups. You can't make them wear it. Here, look, Elvis will wear two to make up for it. Attaboy.
But don't look at his safety shoes.
Those are OSHA approved steel-toe sandals. Steel-toed sandals. They protect the in between your toes real good. But we got goggles or glasses.
I've got the closed-toed. Those are the safety ones.
Yeah, that saves you from the sun.
No, it doesn't. Check this shit out.
Oh.
That saved me from the sun.
Okay.
I got racing stripes on them.
See, you're not getting past the OSHA Filipino review.
Yeah, my toes are semi-good. Look at that, and there's only half
No,
tore off.
that one died in 1982. You could always tell some guy's yard that works on boats because everything is from a boat. All this little seating is from an old boat. This awning is from an old boat. This tarp on top of the awning is from my boat. Like everything around here is some kind of part from a boat that they're reusing, so that's kind of cool.
So we're putting on the new ribs on this side, and it's gonna look just like these, but over there, as you can see. You know, so currently right now he's trying to shape them up and try to get them perfectly, like perfectly fit, so it fits like a puzzle, and it looks amazing, you know. And then he's gonna epoxy them through so they hold really well. And then we're gonna get where his head is. We're gonna get another rib up there. So yeah.
It's got some beautiful curves, huh? We're getting there. We're still gonna replace this one. This is the old one. But we're doing sections at a time so that the boat doesn't twist or shift or anything. But we're getting there.
Alright, so we just got these ribs finished, or this rib finished, and now we're just epoxying it over, or epoxying all of these joints and stuff, so it holds a stronger bond, you know. They're nailed in, they're epoxied in. Now we just have to do the exact same thing to this one, and I'm pretty sure he already has it cut out. So all it is just putting it up there and doing the exact same thing.
After talking to people and doing a little research, I know that these shelves like this, they can collect water, sand, debris, whatever over the years, and they become little rot points, you know, like look over there, that's just a shelf for collecting stuff. And I know it's really hot here and things will evaporate quick, but you don't really need collection points where little pools can set if it rains. You know, here's one of the hatches, so if it rains it'll get in there, or waves or whatever. But so I wanted to do, so what I was thinking about doing is carving some channels right here on all of these ribs so that it would always drain down to the bottom and go out the back. But that would be a ton of work. And I think if I put in these little channels right here, like drilled a hole or a half hole where the water would not collect and it would drain, I think it would just get filled with epoxy when they epoxy glue these panels on. So you couldn't even do it right now. You'd have to get in there later when this is all sealed up, you know, like this, and drill a hole in there. So I'm not sure how we're gonna do that, but there's other little collection points I want to get rid of, such as this. This is the whole front of the boat, and these little corners, nobody is ever going to be able to get in there again. Like literally, I want to make a little channel so that no water collects in there, or dust, debris, whatever over the years. There's a little channel that goes through there and will go down the boat. Same with down here. This one's pretty good. The front is a little higher than the rest of the boat, so it will flow that way. You know, and these are little tiny details. Doesn't really matter to the boat builders right now. They're just doing the structure while they can, as soon as the water's low enough. But little tiny details, we're trying to think of everything we can to make this the strongest, longest lasting boat on the island. That's our goal. Our goal is not to save money, it's to have the best boat. Another thing we want to do, you see these masts, there's 4 of them on the boat. They're just too short and too weak because they have to support these outriggers. And as you guys know, we're going to totally take those outriggers off and replace them with massive beam solid outriggers. No more bamboo. All right, so we have to reinforce those, and look how they did it. So basically it comes through the floor and it just stops right there. I mean, there's really no support or anything. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna change this from a 4x4 post, we're gonna make it a 6x6 post, and it'll go all the way down to the floor of the hull, and it'll also be about 6 to 10 foot taller up front. And then we'll be able to reinforce it down there, make it a big structure down there as well in the middle. So there'll be no twisting, no nothing. You'll be able to have strong cables coming off of these masts. Same with all the other ones, right, Elvis?
Yeah.
So the other masts are down there. One of the next things we got to do is replace these bulkheads. So you can see there's bulkheads all throughout the boat in case one section leaks. It's confined to that. Right now they're 1/4 inch plywood, and we're just gonna rip them out. We're gonna put in 1/2 inch plywood, make them a lot stronger as well, even though there's not much pressure on them. We're gonna seal them. We don't want them leaking or rotting or anything. In fact, they're kind of tearing up the bulkheads anyway to put in these new ribs and supports, so that's fine. We're gonna take them out anyway, put some real strong ones in there. Like I said, this is gonna be the strongest, sturdiest, most long-lasting boat we can do. So yeah, I didn't even realize they were breaking through the bulkheads anyway. But they did ask us if we wanted to replace them with stronger stuff, so yeah, we were gonna do that anyways. All right guys, we got another shopping list, so we can replace the mast and the outriggers. We know what kind of wood and sizes we gotta get. It's not cheap, but I think we got what we got done today. I think it's been a good day. So Thank you so much for the members. Here's some member shout outs right here.